Good morning, everybody. I sound like your average NPC, isn't it? So you go for a walk anywhere in the morning and you meet all these people, the washing powder people, and every time it's the same, isn't it? Morning, morning, morning. And when you don't say anything back, yeah, because they're quite entitled, aren't they? They get a bit grumbly. You know, if you want to protect yourself, just start doing that. And I think you're deaf. Doesn't matter. So I'm sat here because I felt like doing a video, and then I sit down and then my mind, such as it is, goes blank. Interesting, really. This happens a lot. I'm sure it happens to other soul travelers who do videos. The same thing will happen to you. And it sort of fits with the bigger picture here, because what I want to talk about today is it's a difficult, vague, convoluted, confusing, discombobulation type of energy. And I guess, how many of you, I know one of you, one of my subscribers, you've read the book The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov, a Russian writer. I think it was written in the 50s. It's a fantastic book. It's my absolute favorite book, and I highly recommend you to read it. It's quite important to get the right translation, though, because I've got two copies of it. One was translated by somebody who didn't have a fucking clue, and basically it's ruined the entire text. It's really bad, and the other one is perfect. So I'm going to look up the good copy, and I'm going to write down for you. Type whatever. See, and I've had coffee as well. Wow. Anyway, so I will type the correct information below so that you can get the correct translation, which you might be able to get secondhand on Amazon. Yeah, because this book, in my humble opinion, is a perfect example. And I'm actually reminded of a comment left by this subscriber, Glitter. Hi. I always like your comments. You're clearly a deep individual. Where you did your thesis many years ago in uni, wrote a piece about this book, the story, The Master and Margarita, and how you got dismissed as irrelevant and whatnot, and the person who made it all about religion, obviously this was an NPC because they're dead, they have no imagination, they cannot see synchronicity, they cannot experience synchronicity, and they do not understand anything. They are the people that do not have an internal monologue, right? So they will always say the correct thing because it's all scripted according to the fake reality, you know, anyway. But you talked about it in a very different way, and it was dismissed, which it would be, because truth in this realm, mostly, is not well received, because the truth hurts the forces of evil, because the truth sets us free, and they don't want us to experience freedom. The story really is about the devil and his cohorts. There's you know, he's got a walking cat, a large walking cat, and so forth and so on. It's a collection of outlandish characters that descend upon Moscow in the 50s, I think, and basically just set forth to create complete chaos, and it's incredibly funny. It's really, really funny, and I think it was kind of written as an indictment of the Bolshevist agenda and so forth and so on, and whatnot. But it really is not so much about that. For those of us who see deeper, it's about the trickster element. It isn't about Satan. It isn't about good versus evil at all. It's about the presence of something, an intelligence, let's say, that operates in our life, right? So the trickster element and how it totally takes the piss out of us all. I've witnessed the trickster element my whole life. I've seen it at work. It is something that cannot be clearly comprehended with our left brain gormless IQ. We cannot make sense of it. That's mostly in because of the trauma-based mind control that we've been subjected to, and being in a fugue state, right? God, this video is going to be a bit convoluted, because the minute I'm talking about something, it's like, yeah, but that connects to that and that and that and that and that, right? And it's like, ugh! And I put this thing on on my head because I haven't had a shower yet, because I wanted to get this video out, and now it's fucking like whatever. It feels like I'm wearing a cake on my head or something. Here, let me just. Oh, that's nice. Do you like that? It's a bit better, isn't it? Oh, it's much nicer. I had my living room painted yesterday. I had it painted a really deep, bright crimson, because something said, do that, it will be protective, and indeed it feels that way. It does, it really does. Anyway, right, so the whole point of the trauma-based mind control is so that we soul beings exist in a perpetual dysregulated fight or flight or freeze, fugue, dissociative, multiple personality disorder state. On the external, you have all these different fragments of that. You get your MK Ultra type shit. You get people who have, like, I don't know, 60 different personalities, right? You have oh, come on, you know, I don't need to point this out, and I'm not going to, because it's pretty obvious for those of us who know. It's all there, right? It's a mirror. It mirrors only mirror. A mirror image is the reverse, and this mirror doesn't do that. It reflects accurately, if you pay attention, what is what on the inner plane. The external is a kind of outer manifestation of an internal state, and it is why it is immensely helpful for us when we introspect and begin to see it more and more and more clearly, because it helps us to navigate and find our way through this weird, distorted landscape we call reality, laughingly. I don't know if you have come to this awareness, to this consciousness level where you understand, or rather understand, that you have spent most of your life survival mode, keeping your head above water as best you can, and not having any real self-awareness, but rather you exist in a state of such writhing agony within you that you do not realize you are existing in. You surreptitiously dissociate from that state through. There's take your pick, right? So it's a menu. It's a fucking menu. It's a big menu. You can do that. You can do that. You can do that. Anything but dissociate, because the truth is so, I would say, almost unbearable, that it is so painful that the human psyche, in a sense, automatically dissociates. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, when you're as awake as I am, and I don't say this egotistically, okay? I really, really don't. I don't mean it like that. But it is what it is, and I have introspected like wow, you know. When you see with your true eyes, your spirit eyes, your third eye, call it whatever you like, when you see the truth of this horrifying dystopian nightmare of a world that we live in, where we are literally existing in a spellbound state, our magic has been taken away. It has been locked. It has. So we experience, instead of flow and creativity and beauty and goodness and all kinds and whatnot, we exist in a state of constant blocking and obstructionism and arduous difficulty, disease, decay, entropy. It is a nightmare. It is a nightmare, and it's an abomination. But we're surrounded by all these people that keep going on about how wonderful it is as they're planning their next holiday to Madeira. They're there for a reason. These NPCs, they turned out by some fucking machine. They're like conveyor belt people, you know, they're very generic. And they are, you know, mundane reality reinforcement agents. That's why I call them, and that's what they fucking are, you know, anyway. So you exist in that fugue. I did. I literally was, in so many ways, on automatic. My reactions, my behavior, my thoughts, my feelings, the thoughts that were not mine at all, the feelings that were caused by the thoughts that were not mine at all. It is impossible to put into words the fugue state. But for those of you who have come out of it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And when you step away, well away from it all, and objectively look at the bigger picture, you will notice that there is one vital ingredient missing in that fugue state. There is no conscious awareness, cognitive and otherwise, of love. Love. Because you could ask yourself, what is love? You've heard the word love mentioned many, many times. It's part of the, you know, it's part of that very limited thing called language, which is weaponized. And you think about songs like, what's love got to do with it? What's love but a second-hand emotion? Or love will tear us apart again. And this is all about romantic, sexual love, which has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with love. Love is a consciousness. And the best way that I can put it, I suppose, is that if you're a computer, you have two operating systems. One is arduous, difficult, obstructionist, makes everything arse over backward so that you're continuously struggling. You know, you have to pay to live. You have to do this, you have to do that. You're worthless, you're sinful, you're bad, you deserve to suffer. You're surrounded by squalor and death and decay. You are perennially depressed, but you don't even realize, because that's your normal. Everybody's depressed, but it's a normal. You don't even know what joy really is. Oh, I'm going on holiday next week. That's not joy. Or, oh, I had a terrible problem. Or, oh, I thought I had cancer, but now it turns out I don't. Oh, ooh, that's happiness. That's what we've known as happiness. You see, we've been had. Then there's another operating system, which is magical flow. Everything flows. Everything. It's paraphysical you see. Everything can be completely changed. It's such incredible beauty as to be beyond words. And indeed, there you don't need words because you communicate automatically, instantaneously, telepathically. This is words, it's like what? Anyway, that love, it has qualities of, say, courage, integrity, appreciation, that just you could sit down and you could make 2 columns and write down the qualities inherent in the dark operating system and the light operating system. And you know, I get comments and I can tell where people are at, and some people are just inherently stuck in the darkness of complete despair, hopelessness, doom. Evil always wins, there's nothing you can do. I can feel the rage, and I know there is no introspection and there is no attempt at owning this, looking into it, going in the direction that everybody else tells you not to go in. You need to go into the darkness, because how can you heal that which you cannot see or which you do not want to address or deal with? It's, you get your fake, your false positivity, which is, I call them the new age bliss junkies, right? Or you get the opposite of that, these really rabidly hate-filled people. This is what they call narcissism. Narcissism is not the right word for that, but they don't want to heal. They're so infected with the hell contagion, they refuse to heal, because the hell contagion is very, very addictive. I know this. I know it from experience. I saw it in my mother. Which is why when these types of people end up going to counselling, they can't heal, they don't heal, they will always find, it's like a weird twisted maze within them. They will find ways to hide. The hell contagion will find ways to hide. It doesn't want to be healed, it wants to stay in control. It's a fucking slippery customer. And yeah, well, it's very good at convincing you of all kinds of things that you subsequently believe and adhere to and go along with, that are ultimately extremely destructive, toxic, and poisonous, and will keep you trapped. All that time that I was living in Amsterdam and in London, and I was living my life and so forth and so on, and I had all these experiences with all these different people, all these different places and drugs and this and that and the other, I was on automatic. Yes, I was semi-self-aware, but I was doing things that I would never do now. You've only got to look back and say, wow, when I did that, or when I allowed that to be done to me, and so forth and so on. Not in a million fucking... So much self-hating behavior, so much, and it's all fugue, it's all fugue, it's all fugue. It's as if something evil, something dark is in control of you. Your mind, your consciousness is like a cotton ball. It isn't clear. There is no precision. There is no clarity. There's no consciousness. It's difficult to put into words. The notion of love is, the only notion that you have of love is what you've been given via the external toxic stream that is under the influence of the dark trickster, right? Because you are tricked, because you are being funneled. You are being funneled, you are being guided and directed by something inherently evil. Something that wants to continue to use your life force, your magic, your power to create evil filth. Yeah, right? You go through the notion that you might actually be powerful, magical, powerful, as in you had the power to go home all along, Dorothy. Well, why didn't you tell me then? Because you wouldn't have believed me. You see? The be-all and end-all of this presence, the trickster, the dark trickster, is to make you believe in every possible aspect of you, of your consciousness, that you are powerless, that you're always with your back against the wall, which is why you're so bitter and twisted, which is why within you there is this incredible tidal wave of rage that you need to access and alchemize. And for that, for you to do that, you have to work through it, you have to feel through it, and it is incredibly difficult. And each and every one of you must do this in whichever way you do that, and that's nothing to do with me. I can only talk about my own process. All that time, the love was something that it just wasn't. It's like no. I've got to survive, and in order to survive, I've got to focus on the negative, because it's only the negative that threatens me. That's where the harm comes from. It will finish me off, and and that's good and whatnot. But hey, so what? That doesn't threaten me. You see what I mean? Clever. And you are being used because you believe. You don't know that you don't actually know what your beliefs are, you know. You really don't. You don't know self at all. You have no real, tangible interaction, conscious interaction with yourself. That which you believe to be yourself is not yourself at all. It is a imposter. It's an imposter. It's not who and what you are. And this life is not your life. It's all fake. You see, it's fake. All the carnage that you see around you when you're this awake, and that has you in such a state of terrible grief, because when you see Gaia, meaning other souled beings of light, your family, i.e. suffer, it's going to affect you very much, because we are all connected. Everything is connected beautifully and magically, because that is still here, that which is good and pure and true. The light trickster, I will get to that a bit later, is still here. It is here, it is here, it is alive, because if we've had all the power, there would be nothing left. Because evil cannot really help itself. It cannot be other than what it is. It cannot metamorphose. It cannot create. It does not really have creativity. If you look at all the sort of, like, say, TV series or books written or whatever, arts and whatnot, you can see that it lacks something. It's like, yeah, the acting is crap, and the script is bad, and the ending is shit, and it's just shit. It falls flat on its face. It lacks an inherent something, you know, that, yet again, is difficult to put into words, but I call it the life force, and that's it. You could argue that, well, so evil needs to be... This is when people start going on about, oh, the great culling, or, you know, they want to kill us all, they want to kill us all. I'm like, no, that's not how that would work at all, because they would be destroying their own food source. You get what I'm saying? It's not about that at all. It's not. You see, this is everything that is happening, supposedly, allegedly, right now. Especially with a certain individual in America, that's who's just been elected and whatnot. There's all high strangeness, you know. Nothing is what it appears to be. There is a war going on, guys. A big, epic battle. It all began many, many years ago, decades ago, centuries ago, right? But it culminates here, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen today or next week. I can't say. I don't want to make predictions, but they come from a place of non-linear. The non-linear. We exist in a linear state, but that is non-magical. It's the time prison, right? So we expect with this left brain IQ, which is very stupid, everything to happen a certain way. And when it doesn't, we experience cognitive dissonance, right? And become very confused, and it's difficult. But everything exists simultaneously. It isn't linear. So everything that is happening in terms of aerial phenomenon and high strangeness, generally burgeoning more and more in this world now. It happened centuries ago in order to affect the here and now. There's a great film called Arrival. You ought to watch it because it'll talk about non-linearness. It's a really good film. It's a really good film. I heartily recommend watching that. Arrival. So this is great. The great work, the great happening, which began God knows how many centuries ago, and how many resets ago. Because you see, every time we have a reset, the past changes, and the here and now changes. It's like in Dark City, you know, very similar. But here we come back to the fugue state and the non-awareness of a vital ingredient without which there can be nothing at all. So evil is the trickster because it has its machinations and manipulations have had us exist like that. It is a state of against self, is a state of abandonment, self-abandonment, where, well, I've got to do what I've got to do to survive. And for most soul travellers, I find, we've not thrived, because, well, we're powerful beings, I reckon, I feel. And I think we came here to do something, and to do what we came here to do, we must know the darkness, so we have to experience darkness in order to know it. So happy days eliminates any kind of impetus. Alright? Don't spend your time, don't waste your time on all the happy people. They are, well, more or less of no consequences. It's not the way. And I know that sounds mad, I know. Of course you want goodness, of course you do. You want well-being, you want safety, you want freedom, you want love, belonging, beauty, goodness. Of course you do. So if that's what you want, and it is what you do not have, it's about, it's the ultimate impetus. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah? I don't hold with this bullshit of, oh, we're all powerless and it's a soul trap and we're never going to get out of here and I'm filled with rage, but I'm not actually going to do any kind of work on myself. I'm not interested in that. I have experience of love as a consciousness, and love is also the trickster. I call it the maverick effect, and for those of you who have been with me for some while, you know I talk about the maverick effect. Maverick, because it's so strange. You cannot pin it down at all. It cannot be understood with a rational mind. Can't be done. It has to be understood with the intuition. You can never put it into words, but you'll know it when you experience it. It isn't just, yeah, there is synchronicity. Carl Jung talks about synchronicity a lot, but it's way beyond that. It speaks to us. And it will use the things in this world. It will flow through mediums that you would never expect it to flow through. You think, whoa, no fucking way, no fucking way, how, what? But that's bad, that's evil, and yet there we have the light. And it's come to me through this toxic, poisonous channel. And it has elevated me and helped me to elevate my consciousness to a level where now I can see something, wow. So we are, in a sense, we are in a great big cosmic battle which has been going on for a very long fucking time between two elements, the light and the dark, both using trickster style methods to achieve their aim. And no, we're not collateral damage, we're not piggy in the middle, I don't believe that. That is what evil wants you to believe. The only way you're gonna get through this is to become conscious. You see? Conscious. And the only way to do that is to step out of it. You need to learn to become the witness of yourself, your own consciousness, your own everything. This is a choice. It's something that you learn slowly by degrees, because we're not used to it, because we've been in the fugue where there is no self-awareness. You're just on automatic, and there is no love. Love is a second-hand emotion, and it will tear us apart. You see? That's what you're used to. And you're all bitter and twisted. And if you choose to stay with that, then that is what you will get, because you're a powerful being and you will create that. It's as simple as that. Why has every fucking thing been done to keep us trapped in this trauma-based, mind-controlled, self-hating, self-abandonment state? Why? Why does it not want us in the light? When you feel that light, you know it, it's within you. You get glimpses of a world you once lived in, existed in, created somehow. You were not human, this limited, carbon-based entity, groveling, whining, begging, terrified. Oh, I better go along with whatever evil wants me to do. I better be afraid, I need to be afraid, I need to OCD. Oh God, what if this happens, what if that happens, oh my God, how am I going to survive, oh my God. And not just that, but the antagonism. You end up taking it out on other people. Everybody's taking it out on everybody else, more so now than ever before, because we exist in such a state of constant right? You really awake. When you're disawake, you see it, you know it's torture. I've said it. There's a part of me saying, don't say it, don't say that. Just pretend it's not like that, because it's so bad. We can't deal with that. We can't deal with that. But it is. It's the truth. I'm not interested in stuff, you know. I'm not interested. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a bit of money, this, that, and the other. For you know, this, but really, it's not about money. It's about safety. Safety is the greatest, biggest fucking thing going in this world. You know, freedom and safety. And so, the more money people have, the more free and safe they feel. Which is an illusion, because you know they can be, fucking mown down by a great big fucking truck and die. They can get bone cancer or diabetes. Somebody can stab them for their fucking, in an alley, for their Rolex watch, and that's the end of that. So no, money's nothing in and of itself. Money is not evil in and of itself, it's just a thing. But it is a tool of, oh wow. love just didn't feature. Love just didn't feature, did it? You were just busy surviving and allowing all kinds of nefarious nastiness to happen to you without even realizing. And then you began to awaken. And then you began to really awaken and you began to introspect. What am I? Who am I? What? Are these thoughts my thoughts? And this brings me back to, yet again, the trickster element. What is the trickster element? You know? How do you... It's like I said, it's very convoluted. It's very convoluted and it's very... what's the word I'm looking for? It's very early, guys, so... It shifts and you can't pin it down, you know? It's very difficult to see through. Right? But that is what you must do. Ergo, metacognition is of the utmost importance. Because you cannot see it when you're in it. You can't. You can't see it. You can only see it if you learn to step out of it and become your own witness, spirit eyes. You see the world there, you realize what it is, because that is what the mass consciousness is. You see it now. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's like YouTube has turned into, I don't know, Hello magazine. Oh, Melania is wearing this and that, and it's just all bullshit. I'm not buying any of it, man. I'm just, you know, high strangeness now. All the flickering streetlights across the plain. The aerial phenomena has ramped up to incredibleness. The orbs, the Elohim, the shining ones, you know. And I'm not saying this is happening or that's happening, you know. I'm not saying that at all, because it's to each and every one to work this shit out for themselves, and you're not going to work it out for yourself. But in the trying to work it out for yourself, you will discover yourself, and that, I feel, is where it's all about. Do not put your faith in the structures of this fake world, because it's one thing one minute and it's something else another, and then the next day it's something else completely different. It's not fixed. Pay attention. Oh, wow, I've said it. I say it all the time. See? Weaponized language. Pay attention. Think about it, right? You're paying. And what is attention but life force? You see, there you have it. Perfect example. The trickster element is inherent. It is everything that we are dealing with on a daily basis. We just don't realize. Evil works in that way. The trickster, the trick is in the obfuscation, the manipulation. So it gives you 80% truth, 20% lies, you know, boom. You're already headed in the wrong direction because you're in the fugue. It makes you believe that, I mean, you just pay, oh, here we go again, pay attention, no. Bear witness, listen. See, right? It's turned this world into a giant fucking rubbish tip. It wants to live. Its existence, I feel, is very, very threatened now. It's on the way out. Evil never gives up. It will really, it's very entrenched, so it will really put up a fight. But nothing is what it appears to be. Okay, and the biggest key, the biggest thing that evil did, I mean, there's this saying, isn't it? The greatest thing the devil ever did was to make the people think he doesn't exist. But that's not actually the case. There is that, yes. This notion that, I mean, I've even heard people say that. Things like, oh, there's no such thing as evil. She's like, wow, mate. But I think most people, soul people, now see that evil is very real, and they can see it manifest in this world, which has to be par for the course, because how can you you cannot truly awaken and become free of that which has had you by the throat your entire being, your entire life, maybe your entire lives, plural. It needs to become obvious. You need to see it, know it, feel it. Oh my fucking God, this is what's been going on. How else are you gonna disentangle yourself from it, yeah? So yeah, things have been really insane. These last 5 years have just been completely like, wow. But the whole point of it all is, yeah, oh, there's no such thing as evil, we're just trying to survive. But the biggest ingredient here is love, and love is just, it's like love, 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 love. But now, love is present, love is here. If you choose it, if you want it, if you choose it, are you going to invite it back in? It's already in you because you are of it, you see. But it's a bit like that parable in the Bible of the lost son, you see. You have to re-establish your connection, which doesn't really, that's completely the wrong way of putting it. You are always connected because you are it, but you have to remember, re-invite, reunite. You know, there's so many different ways of looking at it. You know, there's just like the feminine principle and the masculine principle and blah 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 and this and that and that. But you know, for me, it's quite simple. Love. What is love? What is it? Are you what is it intrinsically, and how does it work within me? How does it live within me? Because you see, we live in a world where evil has us believing that power is force, control, violence, manipulation. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive. And you get all these NPCs out there making a shitload of money, doing really horrible, nefarious things, right? Whereas your soul traveler is way too sensitive to be able to, or to want to do that. You know, it's like, no, I care about Gaia, all living beings, and I care about seeing everything healed, and I see the golden world, and that's what I care about, okay. But you know, love. Only love can create. And the biggest thing here is this belief that there is no love. Or that love has abandoned us, betrayed us. And that going back to love will mean that you will be betrayed again. You know, that, oh, love is just evil pretending to be love. Everything has been done to stop us from coming back into our own heritage, our own love, our own power. But it's what we are, you see. And the trickster element that is within the light has been with you your whole life. If you carefully observe, remember your life, you know that subtle guidance that has led you throughout your life. Yes, you've been through a lot of shit, but you see, if you'd have been happy your whole life, you would be nothing. You would just be happy. You would be empty. It isn't about that. You came here to unravel and disentangle and heal this thing. This is why soul travelers are here. So you went through a hell of a lot of suffering and misery. And this is how you know evil. You know what it is and how it works intricately. You know what it does. Yeah? How it manipulates and gaslights. You know, it's interesting because, you know, the President of the United States is referred to by some as a temporary employee. Yeah, that tells you everything in a way about the fake external. That what we see around us, the beast system, right? The armies, the police, the councils, the Senate, the House of Lords, the Prime Ministers, the hospitals, the chemists, the shops, the corporations, it's all fake, it's all fake, it's all completely fake, it's all a hoax. All of it, and it's operated by the Hegelian dialectic. Alright? Beyond that twisted lie of a panopticon, beyond that lies the true control. The true governmental mind control, and it's the jinn. Of course it is. The jinn. It's the magical people, the magical folk, right? I'm talking external here more than anything, and it's convoluted again because a lot of you aren't quite ready yet to understand that consciousness creates, and that this whole thing we call life is not something that is just happening to me and I'm just this hapless victim of circumstance and there's nothing I can do. You know, or the fake positivity people. Oh, it's a soul school. It's not like that either. It's interesting because in my studies I've even come across jinn interference in the whole kind of near-death experience thing. And again, I don't think it's a soul trap. Well, then again, it is, but it isn't. Because once you regain your consciousness, as in you begin to use the right operating system, which is that of love, they cannot control you anymore. They cannot hold on to you anymore. They cannot trap you anymore. But for that you need to be willing to walk into the darkness, through the darkness. There's no other fucking way. Introspect. Where was I? Fuck. I always lose track. It's mind control is all about the trickster. Of course it is. It's a bag of tricks, you see. The light is subtle. It isn't about violence, control, pushing, making it happen. But the maverick effect, the guidance, it can be it cannot be quantified and you can't pin it down. But it does lead you back to yourself. It shows you how to stop being codependent. It shows you back to sovereignty. It shows you back to true self-power. Because that's got to be the only way to get back to regaining control of your entire consciousness. Because as you know, I believe that part of our consciousness has kind of been... it's gone out of alignment, and there's a trauma-based mind control, and this is how evil has direct access to us. So when you get your intrusive thoughts, now yesterday was fucking off the charts. Wow. I mean, the nasty attack, the fear attacks, and the grief and the hopelessness and the despair and the terror, it's a reign of terror. It was very, very bad. Very bad. Sometimes you can't get out from under it. But I am aware that even under those dark oppressions, I am consciously aware of my light. And I tune into it. And some people call that getting back to center. That's a way of putting it, I suppose. But you know. And it helps me to navigate, yeah, these very, very choppy fucking waters. See, weirdness happens all the time, and the consciousness of love has its own bag of tricks, and it often uses the tricks that the dark side perpetrates against us. It co-opts that, or in part, and uses it in such a way to benefit us. That is what I love about the light, how it works. And I'm pretty sure that you're aware of the fact that, you know, like I said, happy days don't make for waking up. It doesn't. It's usually, shit happens. Very, very personal. It can be disease, it can be money, it can be losing people, it can be anything, but it will set it off in a big way. Boom! And you wake the fuck up. And you've got to ask yourself, who does that? How does that happen? Because I didn't. The way I woke up, and I mean that was just waking up to the external. I was just sat on a sofa smoking a spliff, and I was watching television, as you do, and an ad came on, and for some reason immediately something went click, and I saw how manipulative and mocking that particular ad was. It was like, wow, this is a total insult, and it's evil. I knew. And the TV became, it morphed and it came really close. It was right there, and at the same time it went further away. It was like the fabric of reality just went completely mad. It was like, whoa. That's how I woke up, and that was about 18 years ago. Some years later, I had a massive breakdown. I had what some refer to as a Kundalini awakening, and all the garbage, all that trauma-based mind control began coming up. I had a massive breakdown, and so that's when I began to introspect. And it's been a very long journey, I'm not denying that. And there's people saying, well, it shouldn't take this long, and it shouldn't be like that, and it shouldn't be like that. And that is the odd consciousness. Because, yeah, I get all that, and I feel that as well, but at the same time, you know, that's not going to help. I know exactly what the old operating system is, and I know exactly what it feels like, that antagonistic, self-pitying, oh, and it's so addictive and slimy, you know. And I also know what the other side is, love, crystalline, light. And it's wise, the wisdom is infinite, and it has guided me with its very own bag of tricks. It has guided me. It does it all the time, man. It's incredible, and I can't put it into words, but it is the trickster that serves the light. It is the trickster of the light, and then you have the trickster of darkness. And on the external plane, you know, it's full of the tricksters. You know, the Native American people would think of coyote as the trickster. Here in Celtic lore, it's fox. Not that foxes are tricksters. Foxes are beautiful, but these are symbolic things. You know, you get Loki, the trickster, and he was an ambiguous sort of figure, wasn't he? He wasn't exactly evil, and he wasn't exactly good. He had his own agenda, you know. And ultimately, perhaps that consciousness that is beyond it all and emanates itself into this journey we are all on as souls, that as it were works itself through us. Perhaps it is both the light and the darkness, in order for us to have this experience. Because I do not believe it's meaningless, and I do not believe we're hopelessly trapped. I don't ascribe to that. Because what I've experienced, I've seen true goodness. And I know myself to be a being of light, and I think that is what really, really matters. But if you are not doing the work, then you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna get that. Pay potential. Here we go again. God, I need to stop saying that. Oh, good. It's the trickster elements. Now, the things are going to get crazier and crazier and crazier, and it's going to be one thing one day and something else the next, and nothing is what it appears to be at all. And so in that swirling dystopia, look out for that which is good and pure and true, and know, find it within yourself, tune in, and you can feel it. Invite it again and say, reveal yourself to me. And it will say, well, you are me. Because we are the light. You see. It's knowing that the light has its own bag of tricks. It is also a trickster. But its bag of tricks is there to serve infinite, harmonious creation and unconditional love. But it uses often enough the dark side, dark happenings and events and whatnot in such a way as to benefit us. Yeah, we go through shit, but it purges out all that garbage, and we emerge wiser, our spirit eyes, more, wow, yes, it loves us always. We are part of it, yes. And perhaps you have memories of being that shapeshifter or that blue skin being. Perhaps you know things and you just don't know how you know them. It's how do I know that? How do I know that? It's important to remember. Your memory may be coming back of what you are. No. You're not carbon-based, you're crystalline light, it's all alive, we've been spellbound. The forces that have, on the external plane, created all this dark destruction are not from other planets, because we know we don't live on a spinning ball. They are interdimensional. It's things like Skinwalker Ranch or Missing 411 or whatever. It all connects. Look at the work of a woman called Rosemary Ellen Guiley, now deceased, or John Keel or Jacques Vallée, Passport to Magonia, any of that. It's just Jinn, the magical folk, and we also are magical beings, but we are in a spellbound state. And a really good analogy is a Voyager episode. It's season 3, episode 3. It's called The Chute, or is it Chute? C-H-U-T-E. Watch that episode. It is so apt, because it's where they're put on this prison barge for a crime they didn't commit. They're innocent, and something is put into their nervous system, and they're very agitated all the time and antagonistic, and they have to fight over the very meager resources with everybody else, and it's well, this is what this is. I mean, come on, it's appalling, you know. And yeah, it's all because consciousness. And when I talk about souled living beings, I'm not talking just about humans, animals and nature. The picture is way bigger than that. We're talking about the multiverse, and there are shitloads of beings that exist, and who knows really, right? It's very big, you know. It's so big, it's way beyond our comprehension, but that's okay, because the light and its bag of tricks is with us and is within us, and it guides us, and that is what matters. You have your spirit eyes. Oh, here we go again. Oh my God. See, it's very hard. It's hard to get rid of all this mind control garbage, but it has to be done, and we're getting there. Anyway, I think I'll call it a day there, because I've been going on for ages, and yeah. just remember the trickster elements. Light, dark, and how it, in a way, intermingles. And perhaps what the Native American people refer to as the great mystery. Like a reverberation, as it were, throughout all that is of a consciousness. That is neither good nor evil. Why should it have to be? Why would it have to be? But it is about creation. Let's create this, let's create that. Infinite, infinite, eternal, eternal. Let us taste of the tree of good and evil, the fruit of good and evil. Not, oh, well, good's there and evil's there and they're against each other and balance is 50% of each. No, let go of the stupid consciousness. Evil needs you to be stupid and to stay stupid. Well, I'm a law-abiding, tax-paying, hard-working citizen. Yeah, that's what it wants you to be. Let go of that shit. You are innately intelligent. All soul travelers are. It is in the light, though. It's an intelligence that lives in your heart, in your intuition, and it connects with your true self-power, which is part, yeah, it has a mind, of course it does. But it's way, way beyond the gormless stupidity of the left brain paradigm. Get familiar with the trickster element inherent in everything, within yourself, because it is incredibly intelligent. Incredibly intelligent, and it is in everything that you experience. Do not take the external as verbatim. It's vicarious. Alright? But it is. There is osmosis. You are under the influence in many, many ways, and you need to be aware of that, you see. Be aware of the predictive programming. That's a bag of tricks of the dark side, you see. Then again, the light sometimes does that as well. And then you think, oh, maybe the light isn't a light, and ooh, it's fucking confusing and it's scary shit, guys. I really do realise that. And hey, the map is not the territory and the menu is not the meal. But we are perfectly capable of navigating this, because we are beings of light. So, with that said, all my love to all of you. Thank you for being here and listening to my videos. If your comment gets deleted or whatever, I do apologise. Not my fault. YouTube, well, you know how it is. If I was talking about, I don't know, twin flames and whatnot, I would have probably, I don't know, thousands of subs. But because I talk about truthfulness, I guess it's not much liked by, you know, the dark side. But it doesn't really matter, because I really feel with all my being that my videos reach everyone they are meant to reach, and I hope that these videos I do are of help and support, and that they convey some love and goodness and warmth and whatnot to you. And if you feel like leaving a comment, please do, and maybe, you know, copy and paste, so that if YouTube gets rid of it, just post it again. Because I do like hearing from you guys, and, you know, because I do make these videos, I do make an effort, I do put it out there, and it's nice to get something back, you know. Reciprocation is a good thing, yeah? So, yeah, all my love to all of you. Mwah.